Good morning, students. Today, the topic which we are going to discuss is symposium. Now, the learning objectives of today's topic are we will able to understand the meaning of symposium, objectives of symposium, format of the symposium, purpose of the symposium, different characteristics of symposium, principles of symposium, advantages of conducting a symposium, and what are its limitations. Now, a symposium is generally defined as a meeting organized so that experts in a given field can meet. So, we can define a symposium, a type of a meeting, and that meeting was organized so that the experts of a given field can meet at a particular place. Present paper, they can present their papers related to the topic or their field and discuss issues and trends or make recommendations for a certain course of action. They can present their papers there and discuss issues and trends related to the topic and make further recommendations for a certain course of action. Some definitions of symposium include a degree of audience participation that is less than that of a forum, that implying a greater structure to the meeting format. Symposiums have an implied academic aspect that distinguishes them from seminars, means there is a difference between a seminar and a symposium. After a symposium, attendees should come away having gained a greater degree of knowledge about the topic. Means after the symposium will be conducted, the participants or the attendees have gained knowledge about the topic which has been discussed, or a deeper understanding of an issue, and they will have a deeper understanding related to a particular issue. They may have heard entirely new concepts about an existing subject or have been introduced to some completely new. They will have entirely new concept about an existing subject, a new concept related to the topic, or have been introduced to something completely new that they haven't known before. Now, the definition symposium is defined as a teaching technique, means it's is defined as a teaching technique that serves as an excellent method for informing the students, and it is serves as an excellent method through which a teacher can inform give informations to the audience, to the students, criticizing their opinion and preparing them for arriving at a decision regarding a particular issue or a topic. Crystallizing their opinion, what is their opinion regarding a particular issue, and preparing them and preparing the audience and the students so that they can arrive at a decision regarding a particular issue or topic that has been discussed. Symposium is a discussion method. We can say that symposium is known as a discussion method where the discussion has to be held, in which different viewpoints on a single aspect of a topic is discussed. And in symposium, different viewpoints on a single aspect of a topic is discussed. Symposium is a series of speeches on single aspect of a topic. Now, objectives of the symposium. What are the different objectives of conducting a symposium? To identify and understand two various aspects of the theme. Means with the help of the symposium, the audience or the participants will able to identify, find out and understand two various aspects of a particular theme that has to be discussed in the symposium. To develop the ability to decision and judgment regard a problem, you will develop a ability to come to a decision and judgment regarding a particular problem. To develop the values and feelings regarding a problem. And with the help of the symposium, you will able to develop the values and feelings regarding a particular problem. To enable the listeners to form policies regarding a theme or a problem. and the listeners will able to form policies regarding the theme or the problem that has been discussed during the symposium. Now, format of the symposium: welcome remarks delivered by the host organizers of the symposium. Means before the starting of the symposium, a welcome remark should be delivered by the host who is organizing the symposium, and the organizers, those who are organizing this symposium. Introduction of a moderator for the symposium, and you have to introduce that particular person will be the moderator of the symposium, who will in turn introduce the keynote speakers, and then moderator will introduce the keynote speakers of this symposium, the experts of that particular field, and the panelists pose questions and facilitate discussion. So the moderator work will be first to introduce the keynote speaker and the panelists to the audience, then pose questions and facilitate discussions so that the discussions can be made. A keynote speaker who will deliver remarks on the overall theme of the symposium, and there will be a keynote speaker who will deliver remarks on the overall theme of the symposium that has been discussed. The keynote speech is typically presented before the panel discussion or during or after a lunch hour. Now, the format of this symposium continued during the panel discussion means at the time of the discussion with the panelists, the moderator introduces each presenter with a brief biography. He will introduce to the audience the brief biography of the keynote speakers. The speakers will have a few minutes to speak on the topic. Means some time limit will be there. A few minutes will be given to each speaker, the keynote speaker, to speak on the topic, and may give a overview plus his or her personal or professional perspective. And that keynote speaker can give an overview plus his or her personal or professional perspective related to the theme or the topic. After the individual presentations, means after the each individual or each panelist has presented his point of view related to the topic, the moderator guides a roundtable discussion among the panelists. Now, every keynote speaker has given his viewpoints, and after that, the moderator gave a roundtable discussion among the panelists, often with pre-selected questions, and that roundtable discussions will be held with the pre-selected questions that has been already been selected by the moderator, that have been sent to the panelists in advance, and these questions that the moderator would going to ask to the panelists have already been sent to the panelists in advance. The symposium generally concludes with the question and answer period. Means after the symposium will over, there will be an answer or question and answer session. Often, the host simply take microphones into the audience for a more structured environment. Questions can be submitted in writing and read by the moderator. Now, what can be done? The audience, those who want to ask a question from the panelists or the expert speakers, they can write a question, and that question can be submitted to the moderator, and the moderator will read the question from and seeks to get the answer from the panelist. Now, the purpose of organizing a symposium. The first one is to identify and understand various aspects of a theme. With the symposium, you will able to identify, you will able to find out, and not only identify, but also you will understand the various aspects of a theme that you don't know earlier. To develop the ability, arrive a decision, and you will develop a ability so that you can arrive to a decision after understanding the various aspects of a theme and provide judgment for a problem. As you will have a deeper knowledge related to a particular subject or a topic, then with the help of that you will able to come to a judgment for a problem, and you can take a decision or you can arrive to a decision. To develop values and feelings regarding a problem, with the symposium on a particular topic or a problem, after the symposium you will able to develop different values and feelings regarding a problem. To provide understanding to the students, it will provide understanding to the students or the listeners on a theme, on a particular theme or a problem, to specifically develop certain values and feelings, and that will able to make the students or the listeners able to understand, specifically develop certain values and feelings towards the problem or the theme that is going to be discussed in the symposium. To enable the listeners from policies regarding a theme or a problem, and the listeners will able to understand regarding a theme or a problem and the policies regarding that particular theme or the problem. To investigate a problem from several point of view, as they have a deeper understanding of that particular subject or the problem, then now they can investigate that particular problem from several points of view. To boost students' ability to speak in the group, it will encourage the students and it will boost up their abilities so that they can speak in the group. To encourage the students to study independently, and symposium will encourage the students so that they can study independently. Now, characteristics of symposium. The different characteristics of a symposium are: the symposium has the following main characteristics. These are the main characteristics of a symposium: to provide the broad understanding of a topic or a problem. Means the students will able to understand the topic in a broader sense. After the symposium, they will have a broader understanding of a topic or a problem. The opportunity is provided to the listeners to take decision about the problem, and the symposium is giving the opportunity to the listener, those who are listening that particular symposium, that they can take a decision about the problem on which the symposium has been conducted. It is used for higher classes to specific themes and problems, and the symposium can be used for higher classes students to specific themes to a particular theme and problem. It develops the feeling of cooperation and adjustment. Symposium develops the feeling of cooperation and adjustment among the panelists and the audience who is listening that particular topic. The objectives as synthesis and evaluations are achieved by employing this symposium. Means you can able to achieve the objective of synthesis and evaluation if the teacher is conducting a symposium. It provides different views on the topic of the symposium. Now, the next characteristic is that the students, the audience, will have different views, different point of views on the topic of the symposium. As the panelists will express their views. Now, what will happen as the listeners are listening the different point of views of the different experts? Then they can have the different viewpoints on the topic of the symposium. Now, the principles of organizing a symposium. The first one is the speeches may be persuasive, argumentative, and formative. Means it should be like that it should give some informations to the listeners. Original presentation is objective and accurate, and the original presentation that is going to be present in this symposium, it should be objective, means it should not be a subjective presentation, and accurate means correct. It should be correctly all the information, all the knowledge that has been presented to the listeners through the presentation, it should have an objective viewpoint and it should be accurate. Now, speech. Make your informative speech engaging. Persuasive speech. There is no alternative to present. Internet dating is harmful. Plastic surgery is a self confidence booster. The freedom of press has gone too far. Now, argumentative speech. Argumentative speeches. The method always includes a summary at conclusion. Means after the symposium or after the experts have shared their viewpoints, there should be a summary of all the discussion that has been held during the symposium, and it should be done at the time of conclusion, yeah, before the conclusion of the symposium. E-speech provides without interruptions, means every presenter or every expert should give their viewpoints, or each speech proceeds without the interruptions. Each speech proceeds without interruption. The chairman of the symposium introduces the topic, means the, the chairman of the symposium will introduce the topic to the panelists, to the experts, and to the audience and the listeners, suggests its importance. He will not only introduce the topic, but he will also introduce or give suggestions why this topic has been selected for the symposium, why it's been so important, and sometimes indicate the general approaches. And not only he is saying that this topic is selected because of its importance, but sometimes it's indicate the general approaches related to the topic also. All members of the symposium, all the members who are present for the symposium, the panelists, the subject experts, performing group can sit in the straight line. They can sit in a straight line. Behind the table means that straight line will be formed behind the table, or in adjoining chairs with the chairman in the middle, or to one side of the speakers, and the chairman will sit in the middle of that panelist or the members of the symposium. The symposium present two conflicting point of view, means different viewpoints will be presented in the symposium by the experts. The reading arrangements can separate the speakers on the platform to indicate differences in opinion or to perceive peace. Now, the guidelines for conducting a symposium. The chairman of the symposium introduces the topic and suggests something of its importance. Means the, the chairman will introduce the topic, that this will be the topic of the symposium, and he will introduce or suggest the importance of that topic. Two or more speakers talk from 10 to 20 minutes, means you can give approximately 10 to 20 minutes to a particular speaker. The speech may be persuasive, argumentative, informative, or evocative. Each speech proceeds without interruption, means there should not be any interruption. The speeches are followed by questions, means after the speech will be delivered, the listeners or the audience will ask questions from the speakers or comments from the audience as in the panel form. or they can not only take the questions from them but also comments from the audience in the panel form. The speeches are followed by questions means or comments from the audience as in the panel form. Questions are guaranteed and live answers aren't. Means we have to take the questions. We have some questions, but it is not sure that we will get the answers of them. Now, difference between seminar and symposium. We are saying that seminar and symposium are two different things. So, the difference between seminar and symposium are seminar chairperson has to expert less control means the chairperson has a less control when we are talking about the seminar. The chairperson will have a lesser control over the experts, whereas in symposium, chairperson has to exert more control. When we are talking about the chairperson of a symposium, he has to exert more control over the symposium, over the discussion, over the questioning. Everything should be in the control of the chairperson. Whereas in the seminar, the chairperson will exert less control over all the proceedings of the seminar. Now, the next one is less time for discussion involving participation. Means when we are talking about seminar, it is giving less time for the discussion, and that less time for discussion as it will involve participation, participants, less time will be given for the discussion involving the participants. Means more time will be there on the experts talk, and less times will be given for the discussion and that type of discussion where the participants are involved. Whereas in symposium, more time for discussion involving participants. Now, when we are talking about the symposium, it is giving more time for discussion, and that type of discussion is involving the participants. Whereas in seminar, we are giving less time for discussion where the participants are involving, but in symposium, more time for discussion was given, and that was also involving the participants in that particular discussion. Seminar topic are related to recent trends and development in the discipline. When we have to select a topic for a particular seminar, then that topic should be related to the recent trends. What are the recent trends, current trends of that particular time, and developments in a discipline, and its development in a particular discipline. Whereas the symposium topics are related to controversial issues in a discipline. And when we are talking about a symposium on which that has to be organized, the topic of the symposium, it can be related to the controversial issues. Why controversial issues? So that we should have the ideas, the viewpoints of the different panelists related to a particular topic. He should have developed a deeper knowledge and understanding of that particular topic in a discipline. Next is multiple aspects of the topic under consideration is discussed. When we are going to organize a seminar, we are saying the multiple aspects of a particular topic under consideration that on this topic the seminar will be organized is discussed. But when we are talking about symposium, single aspect of the topic is discussed. In symposium, during the symposium, only the single aspect of the topics are discussed. Now, advantages of conducting a symposium. The first one is symposium can be used to address a large group or class. Means the teacher can use this teaching technique when he is going to address a larger group or a class where a number of students are studying at a particular time. This method can be frequently used to present broad topics for discussion at conventions and organization of meetings. Means symposium can be frequently used, and that with the help of the symposium we can present broad topics for discussion at conventions and organizations of meeting. In symposium, the principle of organization is high, as the speeches are prepared beforehand. As the speeches are prepared beforehand by the experts. That's why they are saying the principle of organization is very high when we are going to organize a symposium. It gives a deeper insight into a topic. Symposium are organized so that listeners have a better understanding, deeper insight, deep knowledge related to the topic that on which this symposium is going to be organized. Now, present new material in a concise and logical way. Now, what will happen in the symposium? In the symposium, a new material will be presented in front of the audience in a concise and a logical way. Why concise and logical way? So that it will develop their deeper understanding related to that particular topic. Gives a fair analysis of several sides of a controversial issues. The experts will present their viewpoints before the audience. So it's give them a fair chance, a fair analysis of several sides of a controversial issue. As different speakers, the keynote speakers will deliver their speech related to the different aspects of the controversial issues. And because of that, it will give a fair analysis of several sides of a controversial issues. Comprehensive coverage of subject is possible means a deep coverage of a subject is possible when a teacher is going to organize a symposium. Audience alert because of discussion. Audience is alert as in the symposium. The audience is being taking part in the discussion. It directs the students to continuous independent study. In symposium is directing the students so that they can continue their independent study. This method can be used in political meetings. Means the symposium can be organized or this method can be used in the political meetings also. Now, limitations of symposium. What are the specific limitations of a symposium? To develop the higher cognitive abilities, that is, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Means it is not able to develop the higher cognitive abilities among the listeners, that is, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. It provides inadequate opportunity for all participants' activity. It's not providing educate opportunities for all the participants to be actively involved in the symposium, in the discussion that is going to be had after the symposium is over. The speech limit to 15 to 20 minutes means every lecture expert has been given a time limit of around 15 to 20 minutes. In that time only, they have to present their viewpoints on that particular subject. It has limited audience participation. When we are talking about the symposium, limited audience participation is there. Question and answers limited to only 3-4 minutes. And when we are talking about the question answer session, that has to be held after the discussion has been made, after the experts has given their speeches. The question answer session is limited up to only 3-4 minutes, means only 3-4 minutes are allotted for the question answer session. It has possibility of overlapping of subjects. When we are talking about conducting a symposium, it might happen, or it has the possibility of overlapping of subjects while we are conducting a symposium. The chairman has no control over the speakers, means the chairman has to establish a full control over the speakers, but sometimes they don't have the control over the speakers, as they have full freedom to prepare the theme for discussion, as we are giving full freedom to the speakers so that they can prepare the theme for discussion. We are giving them the full freedom that you can present your own viewpoints related to the topic that we are going to discuss. They can present any aspect of the theme or problem. And experts, speakers, we have given them the freedom that they can present any aspect of the theme or problem on which they want to give their viewpoint. There is a possibility of repetition of content. There is a possibility or chance of that the repetition of content will be there. The different aspects of the theme are not prepared separately. The different aspects of the theme on which the speakers has to give their speech, the keynote speaker has to give their viewpoints, are not prepared separately. It creates difficulty of understanding for the listeners, and it sometimes creates difficulty for the listeners to understand that particular concept in a better and an effective way, because there is the overlapping of subjects. Sometimes there is the possibility of repetition of the content, and because of these problems it sometimes create difficulty for the listeners to understand the topic in a better manner. The different aspects of the theme are not presented simultaneously, means the different aspects of the theme or the problems are not presented in simultaneously in front of the speakers. Therefore the listeners are not able to understand the theme correctly, and because of that the different aspects of the theme are not presented in a simultaneously form to in front of the speakers, in front of the listeners, then what will happen, that the listeners will not able to understand the theme in the correct and the accurate manner. They will find difficulty in understanding the theme correctly. The listeners remains passive in the symposium, means the listeners are not actively participating in the symposium. They are just passive listeners. They are just listening what the keynote speakers are saying related to the topic or to the problem, because they are not given an opportunity to seek clarification, because symposium has given very much time, or it's not giving the opportunities to the learners or the listeners that they can get this clarification related to the problem or to the theme that has been discussing in the symposium, and question in between the symposium, and they do not given the opportunity or the right to speak question or to ask questions in between the symposium. They can ask questions only after the symposium, after the is over. So what will happen, that we are saying that when we are talking about the symposium, we are giving very less time for the discussions on the basis of the question and answer session, and question and answer session is limited to a very limited time. That's why we are saying that the listeners are passively passive, not actively involved in the symposium. Now, these are the references. You can refer these references related to the topic that we have discussed today. Now, let us discuss some MCQs, as MCQs are the best tools to know the learning outcomes of the learners, to know how much a learner has understood a particular concept. Now, the first one is a seminar. Discuss in a small group on original research. Now you have to state whether this statement is true or false. Now the options are A true, B false. So these are the options. Now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be option A, that is this statement is true, that as a seminar discusses in a small group on original research. Now, the second one, in a symposium, a small group of experts discuss a problem. When we are going to organize a symposium, we are saying that there will be a small group of experts, and that small group of experts will discuss a problem. Now the options are A true or B false. Now you have to state whether this statement is true or whether this statement is false. So the correct answer is option A, that is this statement is true, means when we are going to organize a symposium, there should be a small group of experts and they will discuss uh, a problem. In third one, in a dash, each member speaks on a pre-planned subject. Now the options are A seminar, B conference, C panel discussion, or it's D symposium. Students, these are the options. Now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be, yes, the correct answer will be option C, that is a panel discussion. So we can say in a panel discussion each member speaks on a pre-planned subject. Now the fourth one, in which of these people with similar interests contribute with their knowledge. Now what will be organized by an institution where they are giving the opportunities to the people who have similar interests, and it is contributing with their knowledge. Now the options are A seminar, whether the organizer should go for a seminar, B conference, C symposium, or it's D convention. So students, these are the options, and now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices. And the correct answer will be, yes, the correct answer will be option B, that is a conference should be organized where the people with similar interests contribute with their knowledge. Now the fifth one, a dash is a fellowship meeting of a parental group. Now the options are A conference, B symposium, C seminar, or it's D convention. So students, these are the options. Now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be option D, that it is a convention. Now the sixth one, which of these is not used to organize a seminar? When we are going to organize a seminar, what should should not be done? First, oral reports. B. Written reports. C. Exchange of ideas. Or HD. Recommendations. So, when we are going to organize a seminar, what should not be done or what should not be used? These are the options. Now, students, you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices. And the correct answer will be yes, the correct answer will be option D, that is recommendations. Now, the seventh one, a conference is not attended by. Who will not attend a conference? Options are A. Invited guests, B. Common people, C. Permittive observers, or it's D. People with common interest. So, students, these are the options, and now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices. And the correct answer will be option B, that is common people. So, in a conference, common peoples will not attend that. Now, the eighth one, we learn maximum by. Options are hearing, when we hear something, B, see, when we see something, C, speaking, when we speak something, and D, when we feeling, and when we are feel attached to that particular thing. So these are the options, students. Now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given options. And the correct answer will be yes, the correct answer will be option B. That is, we learn maximum by C. Now, the ninth one, which of these must be avoided in a meeting? Options are A, patience, B, tact, C, leadership, or it's D, criticism. So these are the options, students. Now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices, that what should be avoided in the meeting. And the correct answer is yes, the correct answer is option D, that is criticism must be avoided in a meeting. Now the 10th one, before the meeting is concluded, there must be a dash. Options are A, summary, B, question, C, discussion, or it's the agenda. So we can say that before the meeting is concluded, there must be a yes. What will be the correct answer? The correct answer will be option A, that is summary. There must be a summary for it. Thank you, students. With this particular narration, you have understood the meaning of symposium, the purpose of organizing, the objectives of organizing a symposium, the guidelines and the principles of organizing a symposium. Then we have discussed the difference between a seminar and a symposium. And later on, we have discussed what are the advantages of disadvantages of organizing a symposium. Thank you, students. Thank you so much for your patience listening.